Welcome back to another episode of the Erickson Brothers Podcast. Jeff Erickson here with my older brother, Matt. Matt, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. Let's jump into it.
Let's jump
How,
in.
what's on your mind? What have you learned the past week?
What have I learned the past week? That is a great question. There's this interesting thing. So we're Kayla and I are going through the Bible recap right now, and Tara Lee Cobble's like the author or like the narrator, and she was saying there's this interesting thing as because we're in the Gospels where Jesus he wants to let people know that he's doing miracles, but at the same time, he also will tell people not to tell anyone. So it's like it's all depends on where he is. So it's like if he's in the Jewish area, he's like, don't tell anyone that we're doing miracles. But if he's in like the Gentile land, he's like, tell everyone you know. So it's just like interesting. I never really knew that side of, the story of Christ where he's like, don't tell people, but also tell people. And it's a very strategic way in which he
Mhm.
spread the news.
Yeah. I totally, I don't think I totally understand why he does that either, because it is interesting and he does make a few points where he's like, don't tell anybody, because he says it's like not his time.
Hmm.
And then once it is his time, he, he people he heals go and tells everybody. Um, so it's really
Well,
interesting.
yeah. Well, it's almost like, if he tells everyone to spread it, like the word would spread too fast and he wouldn't be able to physically get to the different cities because it would like spread too quick. So maybe
Yeah.
it's like a slow burn, but in multiple different areas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sometimes I look at it from a critical standpoint. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if he's trying to tell as many people as he can, then why is he doing this? Like,
Yeah.
why not just do the miracles and tell people and allow people to tell other people, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, it is interesting. And maybe somebody has a better answer than I do. But I like your point about it being Jew land versus Gentile land.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that's what she was saying, and never really thought about that. Like, I'd heard stories of like him healing the blind, and then being like, "Don't tell anyone about this." And
Hmm.
it's like I'd never really like drawn the conclusion like why would he say not to tell people if the goal is to let people know what he's doing? But like you said, it all has to be strategic. It all has to follow the plan and the schedule, and God is pulling strings up above to make sure it's happening at the right time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's what I learned. That's one thing I learned in the last 7 days.
Okay.
What
Okay.
about what
And
about you?
well, uh, Bible related, I learned um, in Galatians, we talk about, um, I was listening to a pastor talk about the fruit of the Spirit and the importance that Paul makes because he doesn't call it fruits of the Spirit. He
Hmm.
calls it fruit of the Spirit about how, and do you know this? Do you know where I'm going with this, or are you just
Yeah.
nodding?
No, I do. How it's singular, not plural, and I've heard it described why, but I'll let you do it.
Yeah, so it's the fruit of the Spirit is when the Holy Spirit is inside you, this is the outpouring of these qualities: joy, faith, peace, love, hope, self-control,
Patience.
patience. Maybe
Right.
there's more, but the idea is all of these pour out when you do have the Holy Spirit, and just how when like you can't have one without the other, and it being the Holy Spirit. Like you could fake one or two if you're just a good moral person, but you can't really uh, fake them all for an extended period of time. So I thought that was interesting. The second point that the pastor made was that the fruit of the Spirit is the communicable traits of God, meaning they are the traits of what that he can pass to us as humans. Um, there are certain traits of God that we cannot take on. Like we are not invincible, we're not omniscient, all knowing, we're we're not a triune entity, right? These are all incommunicable traits that humans can't take. But the qualities that humans can take on, the fruit of the spirit is it goes into who God is and what kind of person Jesus was, based off of the fruit of the spirit. And this is a outpouring or a uh, result of holiness as well as we grow and are sanctified um, through Christ. These qualities are a result because we're becoming more like God and exuding more fruit of the Spirit.
I like that.
So,
I like that. That like the fruits of the Spirit are the characteristics of God. And by the Holy Spirit, like working inside of us, we're becoming more like God.
yep.
Cool. I never really thought of it like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. Um, so yeah, I think uh it was at this church event, and one of the other things that this church event, there was a bunch of like members of the church there, and I asked the members of the church like how do I encourage somebody to join a community group? And community groups are these things that are smaller groups within the church that meet on a weekly basis, and it's there could be people from different backgrounds and ages and um, different points in their life, but it's supposed to be a place where we can really uh, be in communion with the people in our small group and share on a deeper level and get to know them. So I was asking, oh, how do I encourage somebody to come if they only want to be around Christians that know, like, and think like them? And I got a lot of good advice. Like, and I think I shared this with you, Jeff, earlier over text. Just one, um, like the family of God, right? There's going to be people in our family that we don't necessarily agree with politically 100% of the time. There's not going to be people we have perfect backgrounds with or we are bonding with. We might have the weird uncle or the annoying little sibling or whoever it is, right? But in the family, like we love them and we care for them and we still are in community with them. So I thought that was good. And just New York being New York, people come from all over the country and leave their families to come to New York for a variety of reasons. So when they can come join a community group, it is like they're a family away from family, or at least that's the vision for it. Um, and then the other thing they said is like how like we can hold each other accountable, and how are we ever going to know if we're wrong about something? Um, if we're only around people that think, talk, and walk like
Hmm.
us, right? Like, what if somebody's different perspective is actually correct? And we need to be hanging out with people that are not like us in order to receive that. And I think the reason why I bring this up is the the election coming up, and there's and congruently there's just tons of pastors talking about it and navigating the election and all this stuff. So I've talked a lot and want to hear your thoughts and want to hear what you've heard around the election, um,
Hmm.
within your church community, but also just within the San Diego community.
Yeah. Well, there's this interesting poll that somebody sent me, or it was like an article that was like based on which candidate is preaching, um, which one follows more Christian viewpoints, and which one is like more aligned with what Jesus has to say. Um, and it was interesting to look at. I honestly didn't do the research that was needed to talk accurately on what viewpoints were what, but I did notice that Trump did was in a little bit more alignment than his competitor when it came to um, Christianity viewpoints. And again, I don't have any stats to back that up, but it was interesting kind of looking at it from that perspective.
What were the different factors that they looked at?
Yeah, I mean, I can see. Hold on. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what the actual numbers were or what the categories were, but it was fascinating to look at, and I wish I'd done more research on this, but it's something to consider.
In your mind, who do you think resembles uh, the Christian viewpoint more?
Hmm.
And it's
Wow.
and
Great question. Great question. Whatever
I
answer.
mean we
You're
are going
wrong.
there. We're going there.
We're going there. Who resembles the Christian viewpoint more?
Here's where my thoughts are. I so Kamala, there was a video last weekend of her at a rally, and did you hear about this, Jeff? That
Yeah.
somebody
Oh yeah.
at a
Yeah, that's a great video. Great point. Yeah, where
somebody
someone said like love Jesus or love we love God or something like that.
she said, I think somebody said Jesus is king, and
Yeah,
then she goes, "Yeah, you're at the wrong rally."
and everyone
Um,
cheered.
and everybody cheered. So that's pretty undeniable. But when you look at Trump's character and just who he is, that's also undeniable. Um, so I think we're coming from a standpoint of not, no matter what each candidate says, how they act is not Christian. So we can just take that as a baseline, right? And I think as Christians, we can pray for whatever candidate comes into office that they would be led to make decisions that um, are are Christ-like, right? I think that if we believe that like God uses all things for good, then we can just take it at we can just start with praying for whoever gets elected and trusting that the Holy Spirit has who that that the Holy Spirit has in office whoever is um meant to be in office at the time, right? Because nothing happens by mistake. There is intentionality behind it. Um and it is such a toss up to what the public perceives. So it's really interesting that whoever gets elected was God intended to be elected,
Hmm.
whether they are more Christ-like or not. Um, and I think that another angle too, you can say what candidate is more likely to have a change of heart and start and I don't know, at their inaugural rally or whatever, say, "Hey, I have accepted the Holy Spirit into my life, and I pray to be, and I am vowing to be a president that is for all people and is going to put the least and the last and the lonely first and make decisions for on on the basis of benefiting everyone within like Christian viewpoints, right? Like what candidate is more likely to say that, right? Because that would ultimately be like what we want is a Christian in office. And I think what we have now is the two candidates who are running are not Christian. Um, and I think the next thought that I've had is the Holy Spirit moves in so many different ways and reaches people in at different points in their lives, and you can't really put a percentage around it or a likelihood around any one candidate because you never know who the Holy Spirit is going to um, approach, right? So it is interesting for me. I would say openly that I'm not 100% sure who I'm going to vote for yet. And I would have liked to see another debate. Um, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about, as you're saying, like it's kind of like who's going to be more likely to have the Holy Spirit? Well, if we were to ask this question when Jesus was around, I don't think anyone would have picked Paul, you know. I guess a
Right.
Saul being his name at that
Yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
nobody would have picked him to be the guy to travel the farthest to spread the message of God. Like he's like the most unlikely character
Right.
that story. So I think God is unpredictable as well.
hmm
And
hmm
that's one thing that one characteristic I've seen about God is like it's unpredictable. He's all in when he makes decisions. So
hmm Yeah, that's a good point. Like every disciple or anyone he's ever picked in history has been an unlikely candidate.
mhm.
And there's the saying that he all the equipped.
Yeah,
So we can trust that we can trust whatever's gonna happen politically or just outside of politics is that like we're gonna be okay. Um, and I think that we're gonna be okay as people, not necessarily as Americans. Um, I think that's something I've heard too recently is that we don't see this like nationalist spirit by Jesus in any way towards America. Um,
mm,
well, there wasn't in America, but like those those country lines did not matter to Jesus. He went after the Jew, the Gentile. Paul went after the Gentile, the Roman, the Greek. Uh, these and people in the early church, there were no lines or borders of who they went and spread the gospel to.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's stay on this competition subject. World Series Game 1 tonight. Tell me, Garrett Cole's on the mound. How do you see the game going?
Ooh, well, who's on the mound for the Dodgers?
Well, let's look it up.
While you're looking that up, I think Garrett Cole, this is his first World Series start since he was on the Astros. Um,
Game preview. Oh, I don't know if I clicked the right button. This will probably have it though.
Jack Flaherty.
Earned run
He's
average. Holy moly. That is
he's
brutal.
good though. He's really good.
13 and
Both
7.
Cole and Flaherty are very, very
Wow.
good.
Oh, this is his ERA, his regular season ERA.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. I think it's what I've been hearing is that
Here,
there's
here's the money line. Oh, keep going.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess Dodgers are favored because they're at home.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really interesting. I think a lot of people are talking about how the Dodgers are set up similar to the Guardians in the sense that the both teams don't have a strong starting pitching staff, and the Yankees were pretty easily able to tear through the model of like a bullpen heavy pitching staff. Um, so I think on the Yankees offense, Dodgers pitching side. I think Yankees have an edge. I think Yankees have an edge. I think the most interesting matchups are going to be when the Yankees are on the mound against the Dodgers because I think the quality of hitters and lineup quality that the Dodgers bring is very high and much higher than the Royals or the
Mhm.
Indians or sorry, Guardians or the Twins. I think that like having Freddie Freeman as an afterthought in the Dodgers lineup is like crazy. That's
Crazy,
just how good they are
crazy.
with
He's not.
Shohei
He
and
he hasn't even played in the playoffs, and they're still doing what they're doing.
Freddie Freeman. Yes, yes.
Like he hasn't. I mean, at least the San Diego game that I went to in the San Diego series, he wasn't playing. But maybe he was just like a pinch hitter or whatnot.
Oh, really? Because Max Muncy was at first or what?
Yeah, Max Muncy was at first, and like he had the Achilles. Freddie Freeman had the Achilles problem, I think.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Um, so I think it's going to be really, really interesting. But again, what people are saying is like the biggest cities with the biggest stars on the biggest stage. Like this is what sports are made of, right?
Yeah,
Los Angeles
the
versus
biggest market caps. Yeah,
yeah, Los Angeles versus New York, like East Coast versus West Coast. Like, let's
yeah.
go.
Have Yankees and Dodgers ever matched up in like in the World Series before? I feel like
I'm
they're
sure
like
they have.
two dynasties.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers were the Brooklyn Dodgers for a while, and
Hmm. Oh, that's interesting too.
I don't know when this switch was made or how the league setup was before that, but
Was it before was it Yankees, Dodgers, and Mets all in New York?
I I don't think the Mets were a team.
Oh, okay.
I think the Mets are newer,
Got it.
but
Yeah,
no,
I mean
it's
I'm excited. I'm playing around with some ideas of coming out there. I really want to, and I'm working on all the fine details, and I don't know. We might just have to throw a Hail Mary and see if we can make it happen.
got it. Got it. What game would you want to come to?
Mm, let's see. You said next week they go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like any of them, really.
Yeah,
But it's just
but
difficult.
ticket prices are just like crazy too. Like
Yeah,
1,300, 1,500 for
for
sit. Like you can't even find a seat for 1,300 bucks.
hear me out. Hear me out, and I'll put this on record that we're gonna get a box. We're gonna get a box for the family. It might not be this year, and it might not be next year, but in the future, the Erickson family, the Erickson Brother Trust Fund will have a box at a World Series game when the Yankees start playing. I
Yeah,
said
that'd
it.
be something.
I said it. We're gonna make it happen.
That'd be something, huh?
Dude, in San Diego, they're only for the playoff games, they're only like 20K. Um and they fit like 25 people. And it's free food, and there's like a bathroom right there, and there's like, you know,
Well, free fruit in a bathroom, then wow, that's
dude, hey, I mean, that's a write-off. You know what I mean? Like it's the end of the year. We need some write-offs at the end of the year. I mean, we're going to the Yankees game.
hmm. Well, it
That's
was the Padres game.
well, in the future, right? Who knows? Might be Yankees Padres in the that might be it.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, well, close this out. Close this out. We had a wide range of topics today. Close this out. Give us some ending thoughts.
I'm saying Yankees in seventh.
All right, you're saying Yankees in seven. I hope it's Yankees in seven. That'd be so cool. Well, that'd mean so it's a strikeout. What do you think is the last play of the game? Is it a strikeout to win? Is it
Ooh.
ground ball to second base like every big World Series?
A weak ground ball to the young shot star player. Um,
How do you think the series ends?
well, if I think it's game seven, then Weaver is on the mound for the Yankees, and I think he gets a strikeout um, to win.
Love it.
So
I'm gonna
that's my
go.
take.
I want it to go game seven. I think Yankees are just straight out a better team. I think they have more momentum. I think
They
they
do.
have. I think their players are hot at the right time with
Yep.
Giancarlo and Judge and Weaver and the whole bullpen. Really, I think Yankees are gonna win in 5 games at home. All right, fifth game they're gonna take it home and they're gonna win
Wow.
in the Bronx.
Are you ready to put your money where your mouth is?
Dude, I mean, I want the Yankees to win just like you want the Yankees to win.
That let's see what FanDuel says. Yankees to win in five.
Yankees win in 5 at home. Bronx go crazy. Paint the whole city red. I guess pinstripes maybe would be a better terminology.
Hmm. I can't find it. But anyway, all right, Yanks in five, Jeff says. I'll go Yanks in seven.
All right.
Um, yeah, Dodgers have Yamamoto for 2 starts in this series. They're Flaherty game one. They've got guys that want to win too. But yeah, they're all, also their pitching staff is hurt. Like Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw, uh, the guy with the long hair who won the Cy Young a few years ago, and the male model that's really tall. What's his name? That
Matt.
played for the Rays.
Oh, Glasnow.
Glasnow, yes, the guy who looks like Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah.
Um, I almost dropped my phone. But okay, where I'm leaving everybody. I was at a interview yesterday,
Oh.
or not my interview, just
Oh.
an interview for an event. These people at work were interviewing another person who's a chief of staff, and one of the things that the chief of staff said that helped her a lot in her career was um when she walked into a meeting, she knew everybody there. She knew their motivations, she knew their intentions, she knew who they knew. She had positioned herself before the meeting in order to get things done, and she was very strategic. So as that to say, what I took away from that is you need to know the players and you need to know the game. So,
Yeah. You gotta know the players and you gotta know the game. I love it. I love it. I love it. And business is a game and life is a game too. And I'm gonna
mhm.
leave. I'm gonna leave with this quote that Matt texted yesterday. He said, "Keep it up. I know the grind can be lonely." I sent that to my team. They're like, "That's fire," and it is.
Yeah,
And the grind can be lonely, and you should keep it up.
yeah, yeah, for real, for real. All right, till next time.
All right, go Yankees.